Hello Divi friends, I'm Daniel and today I'm going to show you how to make gravity forms look fantastic in Divi. Stay tuned for more. Okay, so here I am at the Gravity Forms homepage. I'll put the link to this in the description. If you are not already familiar with Gravity Forms, it is a contact form plugin for WordPress. It is a commercial plugin, so you can see here it's $59 if you want to use this on your website. They also have bulk pricing options as well if you want to use it on multiple websites. As you know, Divi does have a contact form module built in, and it does look pretty good. The downside is it doesn't have a lot of extra features, and so that's why sometimes people will use other plugins like Ninja Forms or Gravity Forms, for example. So Gravity Forms allows you to do things like you can have entries captured in WordPress. So for example, if you had somebody fill out your contact form and you should have gotten an email to let you know, but you never got it, and maybe you went to spam, but you just missed it altogether. Or you have a client and they missed it and they didn't get it. Well, Gravity Forms will keep a record of those entries in the back end of WordPress. So that way you can go and you can check those records. Now, there's other features too, such as maybe you want to have conditional logic where people can check off a box on the form, and if they check this box, it will show a different area of the form because you checked that particular box earlier. It also allows you to take online payments. It integrates with a lot of third-party plugins for payment, and it does a lot of different things. But check out the website, you can see more about it. Highly recommend it. So one of the downsides to using Gravity Forms in Divi is out of the box, Gravity Forms do not look great in Divi, or at least they don't look like a Divi contact form module does. And so our goal here is to make it look comparable to what a Divi contact form module would look like. So here you can see I've created a just a sample Divi site, and I dropped in the web freelancer layout here, and I'm going to scroll down and you'll see I've got a contact form module here. So this is the Divi contact form module. That's kind of what it looks like out of the box. We're going to put a Gravity Forms module there and compare the difference, try to get them similar to that. So first thing I need to do is go into my dashboard, and I can go under Forms. If you've purchased and installed Gravity Forms, you'll see this, and I'll add a new form. I'll call this Contact Us, and let's say that we want to have a person's name, we want their phone number, we want their email, and we want a paragraph of text that says comments. Okay. And as you can see, it's quite easy to create a contact form with all kinds of wonderful features using Gravity Forms. But let's say that's what we want for now. So I'm going to hit Update, save that form. Okay. Now, because Divi does not have a button in the Divi editor to drop a Gravity form in, we need to get the short code for this particular Gravity form so that we can put it into the Divi editor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new page real quick. And I'm not going to save the page. I'm just using this because I want to come here and click this button, which appears if you've got Gravity Forms installed. And I'm going to select the Contact Us form that I just created. I don't need to display any of this stuff, so I'm just going to insert the form. There's my shortcode. Great. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my my Divi page, and I'm going to add a new text module. Okay. And delete that placeholder text. I'm going to paste in the shortcode for Gravity Forms. All right, there we go. So you can see here's the form, and it doesn't look great, not quite as nice as the Divi form. One of the things is Gravity Forms do have labels outside of the fields. We can't see it here because it's like a gray color on purple, so you can actually change that in the Divi settings. So that part at least you can adjust, which is nice. I can go to text and let's make it white maybe. Okay, so there we go. So we can at least see that much. We're actually going to be disabling the labels because, as you can see in the Divi form, they don't use labels. They just have placeholder items inside of the forms, and it allows them to kind of fit together nicely without all this white space within your form. And so if you want to make it look kind of like the Divi module, that's what we're going to do here. All right, so what I first need to do is put in the placeholder information for Divi. and then we need to hide all of the other stuff that's here. All right, so I'm going to copy and paste some CSS code that I have created, which will hide all the labels, and it does some other things, alignment and prettying up the fields and whatnot. This code will be available in the description, so you can get that. But so let me go into the Divi settings, and in here you'll see at the bottom we've got custom CSS. So I'm going to paste that code in here and click save. Okay, great. All right, so now I'm going to exit the visual builder here. I'll save my changes. And as soon as we look at this on the front end, in just a moment, you'll see it will already look a bit different. So just with that bit of code that I put in there, you're going to see, okay, it now looks different. It's getting closer to the Divi form, but we don't have those placeholders in there. So those are kind of not all in the right place. I did make it center the submit button underneath, and you see it has a hover state here too. The colors are configurable in the code. You'll see that I've put some comments in there to indicate this changes the button color, this changes the button hover color. So feel free to adjust the CSS if that's your jam, you can do that. All right, so let's go back to our form now. And so we need to go on each one of our form elements here, and you'll see under appearance I've got something in here for placeholder. So we need like first name, last name, and then for this one, appearance, placeholder should say phone, email, placeholder should say email, and then comments, placeholder should say comments. All right, so I'm going to save that. Then let's go back, refresh our page, see what changes that has made. Okay, so now we're getting close. So we can see now we've got fields in here, so I can click in here and I could edit stuff. It's getting closer. Now it's a little funny because I have things centered, like these two fields look weird in the middle. It would really look better if those were side by side. Well, the good news is Gravity Forms has this little cheat sheet here, which I'll put the link to this in the description as well. But they have all these different predefined CSS classes that you can use on your forms. And so in this case, I'm just going to use the two column halves here. And I'm just going to copy that little code. I'm going to come back into my form, and it's the phone and the email we want to put side by side. So let me open up the form field. I'm going to go to custom CSS class, and I'm going to paste in this gf_left_half, and then I'm going to go to email, and I'm going to paste that in there as well, except this time it's on the right, so I need to change that to say right. Go. All right, so let me update that, go back to my page, let me reload. All right, here we go. So now we're in business. This form now looks very comparable to the Divi form. I did put some rounded corners and whatnot on here, so it's a little different, but those don't have to be there. You can adjust that in your CSS if you want to. All right, so that's pretty cool. So that's basically how you would do it. I'm going to show you one more thing about Gravity Forms that I happen to do. This is like a little bonus. So I'm going to go into Gravity Forms. Just like any contact form module, you want to have some type of anti-spam protection. Gravity Forms does have some of that built in. And I'm not going to go into all the settings as far as the best use on how to use Gravity Forms, but there is a nice add-on that I like. So I'm going to go here to plugins. And there is a plugin called Image Captcha for Gravity Forms. I already have it installed. It's free. You can just check the WordPress repository and you can find that and install it. Gravity Forms also works with Google Captcha. It's a little bit more complicated to set up Google Captcha, not a big deal, but I've actually found that this plugin performs better than Google Captcha in some cases, probably because I don't think a lot of sites use this plugin. But anyway, a plug for KC Computing. I found this plugin to be pretty nice. So Image Captcha for Gravity Forms. So now if I go back to my form, and I'm going to add, if I come down here to advanced fields, you'll see there's the Google Captcha button. I'm going to use Image Captcha, however. So that drops it in down here, and I don't need a label, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to hit update. All right, so now let's go back and look at our form. Okay, so all that does is it puts a nice user-friendly message, please prove you're a human by selecting the flag. And of course it changes, it'll be different ones changes that, so a bot can't figure out what that is typically. I found this to work really well, especially if Google CAPTCHA doesn't work. I'll try this, and usually if that one doesn't, this does work. And so I can fill out this form, I can click submit, and then you've got your nice looking Gravity form inside of Divi. All right, so that is all that we have for today. Again, I'm Daniel from Divi Friends. I hope this is helpful for you. Happy building.